Hey everybody, this is Dustin, your specialist. So we had a customer bring his unit in, and they actually went to our local Napa area that did a flex armor roof. So I was just coming back here to give you an example to show you how thick this material is that's on here. It looks like it was done really good. It's got all nice, clean, straight lines where I guess they use a piece of wire or something for the other videos that I've watched. So, in the past I did some, hey, I have some concerns, that kind of stuff. But that's typical. That's just me. But overall, the product is super thick, super hard. There's some bubbles and stuff on the underneath the rubber roof material that they coated over. But as far as, how they sprayed it around the TV antenna, looks nice and thick. They did around all the bases of the vents, and then the overall thickness of it. So it's pretty tough stuff, surprisingly, I like it. I'm a fan. We've checked in to see how much it would cost for us to get, to purchase part of the franchise to do something like that. And then we just need to see if we don't fall into the area of how close we are compared to the Napa, if we fall into their territory or not. But even if not, something we might do down the road. We're still doing our normal roof coatings, but they're just not a sprayed on, thick, dense coating like that. This is kind of more of like a permanent forever. The only, like I said in the past, the only concerns that I've ever had was these coaches tend to pivot, right? So when it's going down the road and it's bouncing and flexing, typically what we see is these rails will come loose, and they'll flex and they'll move and they come loose. Now that this coating is applied, the coating's applied over the roof surface, over the insert molding surface, and onto the gutter. So if the gutter ever does come loose, that's still a concern, because we'll have to, cut this or somehow take this out in order to get to the screws. And so same thing, like if they, the awning feeds through this channel that's on here. So see how that little U piece is right there, which I'm talking about, this little guy right there. That's where the awning gimp cord slides into that to hold that against the wall. So for some reason, if the awning becomes damaged, or the rail becomes damaged, and you have to disturb this rail at all, that would require you then to cut into this material. So talking to them, if it's their product's lifetime guaranteed, so if there's an issue with the product, they'll go ahead and take care of it for you, as far as I know, no charge. But if it's something where you smash this molding or hit it and it had to be replaced, or you had some body damage to something on the body and it had to be replaced, then obviously that's not their fault. So that would be on you. But as far as, like my previous video, as far as all the plastic corner caps, I don't think there's any way that those are going to shrink, dry, and crack out. Same thing with the insert moldings underneath. Everything should totally be fine, because this stuff is it's super hard. It's almost like wood, But overall, great job. Great job to the Napa guys that did it. Same thing with the Flex Armor guys. Overall, we've been keeping track of their videos as well. And I know some of the ones we did in the past sounded bad, but again, it just comes from a different standpoint. We look at it for oh shoot, if they hit this wall, and you've all seen how many walls we've replaced. So if they damage this rear back wall, now a repair shop's got to cut all this stuff away. And then how are we supposed to put that back on there, right? So that would be damage the wall, then go back. And from what I understand, the place in Napa, which I haven't looked them up, but I'm planning to see if I can get a hold of them or go check them out, also so I can see how the product and stuff gets applied and how they do it there. But from my understanding, they only do roofs. They don't do anything else. So obviously they're taking all this stuff off and putting it all back on. But as far as I know, they don't do any repairs. So we're going to try to touch base with them. And so that way, if they do have a customer that has hey, they need some paint and body work, or they need a rear wall, or they have something that they can't take care of, that we can work with them to go ahead and get that stuff taken care of for them, and kind of help them out. So anyway, stay tuned for more. Again, this was just a Flex Armor roof that was put on. And I just wanted to show you again how thick it was. I mean, that stuff is super thick. Of course, you got a molding back here, so it's making it look thicker. But that stuff is super thick, folks. So, I mean, I'm a fan of it. I like it. I think it's going to be good for a long time. The other one that was in here, I don't know. You might check with them and make sure that you're not putting the wrong products on it, because this one looks still kind of nice and sheeny, even though there's some marks or something up here from tree branches or something. But I don't know if there's chemicals that the other video that I did, that they maybe were driving it through like truck washes or something like that. Maybe we're using like an acid type chemical or some kind of chemical, and it compromised the surface, because that other one had all kinds of pores on it and was looking dry. So make sure that you check with Flex Armor on that. It looks like they did a really good job on the ladders. So they ended up, encapsulating that whole tube. And again, all the plumbing vents, normally there's a base to that, but you can't even see it because it's so thick, applied to the roof. So, all right, well, stay tuned for more. And good job, Napa Flex Armor, and good job, Flex Armor. And we will talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching. This is Dustin, your RV specialist.